We are here with another episode of MMA Control. We are here with Big Verb and Jack Gold MMA. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. We got a lot of fights this week. We got LFA. We got Gable Stevenson's debut. We got UFC Noche. We just had Contender Series last night. There's a lot of good stuff happening right now. What about you?
Same here. Contender was great last night. A lot of dogs barking, big finishes. And then obviously last week we had a record amount of finishes. At a UFC event. I mean, you couldn't. I just found myself trying to bet the finish every fight. It just seemed like kind of like a roulette run. It hits black a couple times. You just want to ride the wave as long as you can. That was crazy. That was probably one of the best fight nights I think I've ever watched.
It was awesome, but man, did it wring me dry. I went down a couple units on Saturday, like 10.
Yeah,
But we're okay. We're coming back. We came back a little bit last night, and we're looking to come back this weekend on Saturday. But starting off here for the first fight of the night, we have Rodrigo Centenato. Okay, before we get there, UFC Noche this Saturday night at 5 o'clock in San Antonio, Texas, not Guadalajara, Mexico. The stadium was not ready. The UFC had a pivot. They're in Texas now. Still a lot of good Mexican talent, a whole lot of Brazilian talent on this card, which is interesting. But yeah, first fight of the night, the Ultimate Fighter finale, Rodrigo Centenato versus Daniil Danchenko, the fight that we were supposed to see live in Chicago. What are your thoughts on this one?
Not too deep of thoughts. I'll probably go with Danny by finish. Rodrigo's just not doing much for me. To be honest, I'm definitely probably going to stay away from this betting wise, but I think I'm going to go Danny by finish. It's not a fight I'm super excited for. And yeah, and I gotta throw this out there. I'm so tired of the UFC website not putting pictures of people who haven't fought in the UFC. If you go on the UFC
it's
website,
terrible.
it's like there's 5 of them this week. There was like 6 last week because all of the debuts. It just looks so bad. Like they make so much money, the biggest company in combat sports, and they're still doing this. It drives me crazy.
And the odds are wrong. If you
time.
look on the UFC website tonight, Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva, they have Diego Lopez as the minus 285 favorite when in fact that is supposed to be Gene Silva.
And they leave out so many statistics too. Very particular, and their heights are always wrong.
Hey.
Literally, we see that with the final weigh-ins, the ceremony weigh-ins. It never makes sense. You'll see on the website it's like a 5-inch difference. They're like eye to eye, so you can't take for anything from the UFC website. They gotta fix it, please. I'm begging them. But yeah, I'm gonna go Danny on that first fight.
I can't believe how wide it is. But what I will say, do we have props on this fight yet? Yes, we do. I'm definitely going with Danchenko by TKO. I'm very confident in Danchenko. I think he's good on the feet.
What's the odds for that?
Danchenko minus 215 on FanDuel. With Centenato plus 190.
That's actually pretty decent.
I know, and if he is a kind of KO or bust kind of guy.
Yeah, I think that's worth a sprinkle. Those first fights kind of set the mood for the night. Well, we saw in Chicago.
We saw that, yeah. Tough finale. That was a nice finish.
Yeah, and that was the underdog, too. I did not expect that fight to go that way by any means.
I knew that was exactly going to happen. Joseph Bopo Morales is that guy. Elite grappling. If you didn't know, you know. Yeah. I messed that up, sure. But you do. Yeah. But next up here, we've got a kind of a fun women's fight here. And it's Brazil versus Mexico. I'm a little biased because Montserrat Rendon training in Chicago. That's our guy. That's our woman right there. I'm sure you might be a little biased too after hearing that. And Elise Pereira, she's good. She's young, but her competition is not good. There's no film. I'm not confident, and I think Rendon's grappling will be able to get her the decision win here. But who knows?
It's funny. I'm sometimes the opposite actually when I see people from Chicago, because I feel like there was a time I was biased, and it always ruined my bets. I was like, it's always the Chicago guy that ruins my parlay or something. I'm actually originally from like outside St. Louis. I'll have these bets, and I'll see this fighter get announced, and he's from somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, and I bet against him. I'm like, he's going to ruin my bet. And they do every time, man. So I am a little biased when it comes to Missouri fighters because I just have this curse on me that they're neither my biggest winner or they just ruin everything for me. Also, a PSA, this is not Alex's sister.
It is not. It is not. Very different woman. She's in karate
A couple
combat.
of group chats, this being circulating. I just want to make it very clear that is not his sister, and she's 19. If I read that right, I think I saw that correctly. Getting younger and younger. You know,
December 20th, 2005. Are you kidding me?
Insane. That was right before I went into high school. That's crazy.
You're old as hell.
No shit.
I'm kidding. But
it's hard to bet on a 19-year-old or be confident. You know, it's hard to think they have that much experience.
And especially, she's a minus 160 favorite as well. You're laying the chalk.
145, 148 on DK. A little thinner line on DK. They must be getting some action on there. I oddly want to pick her. She seems kind of well-rounded. Her opponent's not anyone special. You know, it's women's MMA. Normally, you would think, like, for a men's fight, I'd be like, I don't know about you. This guy might get checked coming in. But it's women's MMA, which sounds terrible, but that kind of throws it up in the air where I think she does kind of have a possibility to get a decision or something like that.
She's 5-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 fights flagged for issues with legitimacy. She's 19. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with Hendon here as the underdog. Tiny sprinkle.
I don't blame you there. Honestly, this is a fight betting wise. I think I would stay away from.
At the over.
But you never know, man. The women's fight, man, it's just such. You know, I thought that with the Sam Hughes last week, and then she just went and destroyed.
That was a Jack Old MMA read there too. Yeah. I was very confident in Sam Hughes.
That was a good fight.
No, she's a dog. I love her. But this next fight, I think the odds are wrong, but I don't think the favorite's wrong. It is Alessandro Costa versus Alden Correa. Alden Correa making his debut, skipping the Contender Series from Fury. He should have been the Fury champion, but they turned it to a no contest after his KO victory over Paris Moran, one of the best regional fighters there is, especially at 125 in America, for a marijuana test. So,
yikes.
Whatever you want to say, who cares about that? He's legit. He should be 11-3 on a 5-fight win streak, 6-fight win streak, I believe. And Alessandro Costa is really good, and he's a huge favorite here, minus 440. Who do you think is going to win this fight, Big Verb?
Yeah, these odds are crazy. It's honestly almost worth sprinkling the dog on this one. I don't think Costa should be a minus 400 against anybody in the UFC. Well, I guess he's not in the UFC, so I guess it kind of makes sense if you want to be a little more particular. But yeah, this is a tough one. I think it's worth a sprinkle of the dog. Once again, I can't faithfully put Costa. You just never know what you're going to get from him. His wins aren't impressive. You know, Jimmy Flick doesn't impress me. Kevin Boraz doesn't impress me. But he doesn't have bad losses either, you know?
No, every loss is against a really good fighter.
Very talented fighter. So, like, it's a weird thing. I think this will be it's going to be one of those kind of make or break things for him in the UFC where he either gets to check this debut guy or he kind of becomes the guy who welcomes people in the UFC for the rest of his career. I think that's kind of the position he's in. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this plays out.
I agree. The only thing I will say is that he has been finished. Correa has been finished. But I also will say he will be bigger. Not like girth-wise, but he's going to be taller and longer than Alessandro Costa in this fight. And man, Correa's dangerous, dude. Like, I think I'm going to sprinkle on the dog. I think I'm going to get a sprinkle on the dog to get a finish here. And if you do that, that's plus 500 odds.
You know, we saw.
If you like Costa finish, it's plus 105.
I never trust that minus favorite money for finishes. Unless you're just a dog, which Costa is not. So yeah, I'm with you. I think the dog is worth looking at for this fight.
Now we're talking about some real dogs. Now we got Cedricus Dumas taking on Zach Reese, the criminal, getting the ankle bracelet off this week, getting able to fight He's going out there. What do you think's going to happen in this fight?
Such a I don't know fight. I think it can go either way. Betting wise, I'm always scared to go against the guy who's, I mean, needs the win, needs the money, needs to stay in the UFC. But he also just takes damage. He takes hits. His defense isn't that great, but he can give it back too. But Zach Reese isn't that great. The people he's beat, not that great. You know, like none of the wins are like impressive. Maybe definitely get some body shots going or something. I know he's a big kicker and stuff like that. So I'm thinking maybe he could do some damage with the body shots. But once again, it kind of scares me with Dumas desperately needing to win. That's just a different mindset, and you fight different, whether in a really good, like just great way, or you fight idiot and you get finished. It's one of the two. I think this isn't going the distance to me.
Listen, I just think that Zydrunas Dumas is bad. I think he's really bad. And if you look at the people who he's beat, they're also really bad.
Yeah.
And I think that Zach Reese has like this much better wins
But go
than Dumas. But
I want you to go click on his last 3 wins real quick for me and look at their records right now, because
they're bad. Trust me. They're the goats.
3 or 5.
They're the goats. Dusko, Jose Medina, and Julian Marquez are the goats. We actually have Medina versus Dusko violence in a couple fights here.
Battle of the losers.
But I just think, and God, that Dusko fight was terrible. But Zydrunas is bad. He is known publicly and in the cage to make terrible decisions. And I think that's going to keep happening. I think Zach Reese is going to hit him with a lead uppercut and put him down.
I can see that. I think I'm going to go with Reese too. I do think he's going to possibly finish him. Dumas can definitely take some damage, though. I will give him a little credit. He definitely can take a hit or two. Like I said, I think a good thing for Reese to do is use some of that body work, kind of drain him down, maybe in the late second, early third, wrap it up for him.
See, Zach Reese is the minus 250 favorite in this fight,
and
he is minus 175 to get a finish. Hard fight to bet.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a lot of these. You got a lot of people on this card that aren't doing that great in the UFC, and they're going. People who are doing that great in the UFC.
This next fight is my pick of the week. It is Luis Garul versus Jesus Aguilar. Jesus Aguilar is the lock of the night at plus 172.
I like that. First off, just looking at his topology real quick, his losses have aged greatly.
Estevam, which was a super close fight, and he's undefeated. Big deal.
And he's still, like I said, like you said, still whipping up on people. So all those have aged gracefully. I think I'm actually with you 100%.
In my opinion, if you're not a ranked level flyweight,
and that was
you're not beating Aguilar. And Garul is not a ranked level flyweight. We've seen Aguilar finish Arison Ferreira, who was 11-1 at the time of the Contender Series. Not looking great now, but finish. Then he gets Tatsuro Taira. Whoopsie. Finish of Shannon Ross. Close fight versus Mateus Mendonca. Definitely not a split decision, though. Finish of Stuart Nickel. 2-1 loss to Rafael Estevam, who he was 12-0 at the time there. He's 14-0 now. I just think he's going to get the job done, man. I think Luis Garul, he beat Piccinini, which is like cool. Man, I don't like that Ode finished him brutally.
And like I said, it's kind of one of those things where you kind of come in the UFC and it's a little different. We're back to fighters who aren't that great and they're barely surviving in the UFC. Osborne is one of those. Him getting that finish probably kept him in the UFC, because if he would have lost that fight, he would have been on a 4-fight losing streak. So I think that's not a good loss. It's kind of very telling to me. And you're honestly stepping up in competition, a dramatic level. And you didn't even win your first UFC fight.
I can't believe he's plus 172 right now.
I feel like I'm missing something with these odds. You know, Vegas definitely fucks up sometimes, but this one definitely seems a little off. I'm with you on the dog, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes him. to be honest with
I
you.
wouldn't either. Guillotine incoming. Just watch it, man.
That's Vegas messed up on this one. That's a great lock of the week. Definitely dog of the week because I can't think of a much better dog.
Yeah,
This
dog of the week for sure. And
For
I think
sure.
that line's going to get closer as we get to Saturday. So
Agreed.
put those bets in now.
100%. It'll drop down. I bet by fight day, I bet that's like plus 150, plus 140 for sure.
Agreed. And this next fight, I think it's only going to go up. The minus 460 favorite, Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. I think this is going to be a steamrolling from Suarez. A steamrolling.
I like to think so. It's funny because I was almost about to start this off with, Lemos not known for wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But then I just saw Suarez, who's known for wrestling, get out wrestled and kind of just, I hate to say manhandled because Wei Li's a woman, but like just bullied. Absolutely bullied. I don't want to say that.
I agree.
Moments she had, but she didn't live up to that hype level that everyone was so excited for.
And I agree with you 100%. We also have to think back 2 fights before Wei Li manhandled Suarez. She gave an all-time manhandling whooping to Lemos, 227 significant strikes to 7 for 5 rounds. 7 strikes.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And I think Suarez can do something like that.
So she's coming off a win, but it was a strikers fight. You know what I mean? Which this is not going to be. If it's strikers, she has a little bit more of a chance, but this is not that. I'm with you. I don't think this fight's worth really touching betting wise. It should be entertaining. I'm always entertained to see how people respond their next fight after losing the championship belt. Because a lot of times in the history of the UFC, once you lose the belt, your trajectory just plummets. And it's so hard for people to get back to that winning status after losing a title fight. That's why it's so much a big deal when a female or a men's fighter does it. Valentina's a good example. Even though she didn't really have to fight below, she came back and took care of business. Same thing with Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes went from getting choked out to just putting on the biggest boxing clinic you'll ever see in the UFC, well, besides from Max Holloway.
Vegas has Suarez winning by submission in this fight, plus 170.
Yeah, I would imagine she's just gonna get her against cage, grapple, double leg, play very smart. Lemos isn't young by any means either, so she should get pretty wore out. I'll go Suarez. I'm not too excited for that fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
It'll be a decent
But this next fight I am very excited for because Claudio Puelles just kind of disappeared out of nowhere. And Joaquin Silva is a little tank. He's old, but he's ready to go. 46 versus 47 in the rankings. It's dead even as well. It's minus 113, minus 113.
Yeah, and I'm usually very against that age he's getting there for. You know what I mean? I see that age.
36, almost 37.
Yeah, hasn't fought in a year. Didn't lose to anyone great. We were just talking shit on. Got a win over Clay Guda. Not a bad one. Hasn't aged that great because I feel like Clay's kind of lost it. I think I'm gonna go Silva. I hate going for the old man sometimes. Claudio just scares me when you have. And I'm a big jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. I watched the Craig Jones Invitationals. I love jiu-jitsu, but it was a couple weeks ago where you got a big, pure BBJ guy coming in and you have this high expectation of him. I've learned that people who are like those purists, specialists, thank you, for jiu-jitsu just don't always translate that great for MMA. They have their moments in the smaller promotions, but when it comes to the UFC, unless you're just uber talented or something, just the butt scooting and stuff's just not going to work here. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as easy to grapple because you're not wrestling based. So your takedowns and stuff aren't that great. You're hoping for a trip, really. And that I've learned to kind of stay away from those big name jiu-jitsu guys and kind of just stick with the guys who only really focus on the MMA part. So I think I'm going to go Silva. I might regret that, but we'll find out.
See, I'm going with Puelles all day because he not the greatest run in the UFC, but unanimous decision over Jordan Levitt.
He's got good wins.
Knee bar over Chris Gruschmacher. Knee bar over Clay Guida. Got finished by Dan Hooker, but he had him in a bad position in that fight. And then a split decision versus Faraz Ziham. I don't think that's bad news. And he's taken 17 months off to work on his striking. And I think he's going to be able to beat Joaquin Silva.
That's a good point. If you can't get that ground game going, what really happens in this fight? I mean, pretty much every fight till the Aguilera one. And I guess you can kind of throw Soros on this because she only lost a title fight. You just have these people who aren't doing that great. Like you got a lot of people fighting for their contracts on this card. And that's scary.
A lot of ass.
As a bettor, that is terrifying when people are betting for their livelihood and their contracts. Because, like I said, you're neither going to come out crazy trying to do everything you can, or you just come out masterful and you have the fight of your fucking life. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the old man.
Yeah, I like it. Next up.
These guys.
I know, we've got the freaking dogs. You've got Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic, two of the worst fighters in the UFC. Now, Tapology has their rankings pretty far apart. They have Dusko at 53. And for example, Dusko at 53, Azmat Bakoyev's at 51, and Dumas is at 54. And they have Jose Medina at 0. He's the worst one. He's at 70.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's the worst one. Yeah.
And they're not wrong.
He's
the worst one. He's a flabby fighter. God knows the last time. When was the last time this man won a fight? Because I couldn't tell you.
He got in the Contender Series off a loss. He's had 2 straight losses in the UFC.
He hasn't won in the UFC, so yeah. He hasn't won since 2023.
He hasn't beaten a single person with a winning record.
So not much to say here. I will not.
I lied. He went to a split decision war, 4-2.
Yeah, man, just not much to talk about this one. Battle of the losers.
And he is so bad.
Battle of who stays in the UFC, or possibly both of these guys still get cut, to be honest with you.
So Dusko at least has a win.
Yeah.
2 wins. 3 wins.
Got to go for Dusko. I feel like you're just...
Dusko, pre-UFC... knocked out Michelle Pereira. Kyle Dawkins has done it now.
Yeah. That ruined my fucking...
It's just like...
I saw so many parlays off that.
Lost to Daquan Townsend, or beat him. He was terrible. He was 21-11 at the time. He's just bad.
Yeah, like I said, battle of the who gets cut from the UFC next week. That's what this is.
I think I've got to go with Dusko here.
I mean, you have to.
And I wonder what the betting odds are on this fight.
He's minus 340.
Damn, Dusko's the heavy favorite.
Which that's such a red flag.
You gotta bet on Medina. Ride with the ass.
It's such a wild fight. So
will this fight go the distance?
You got 2 sloppy ass fighters. So I really don't know, to be honest with you.
I think it'll be a good one. Whatever it is. I think it's gonna be a whole sloppy fun match.
Fat dudes swinging and banging for like a round and a half, and then just grabbing each other, sweating profusely, just looking at the clock, wondering when it's going to end. That's what this is going to be.
We have the fight of the newcomer, Santiago Luna versus Quang Lee, to open the main card. Now, Bang Quang Lee, Minnesota guy, I like him a lot. It's a pretty even fight. Santiago Luna minus 138, Quang plus 108. I think Santiago Luna's grappling is going to get it done here, even though I think if it's on the feet, Bang Quang Lee is going to be able to get the job done.
Yeah, such a tough one to kind of...
Santiago Luna has a great name, though.
It is. Isn't it a great name? Rolls off the tongue very well. It's like one of those great warrior names. Coin flip, obviously the odds show that. I don't hate picking the dog here. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And it's not great odds, to be honest. Plus 114 on DraftKings, at least. Not crazy odds. What were there, like 6 debuts last week? And I think 2 of them actually won, maybe 3 top.
I think 2, Ante Delia and
Mason.
Yeah. No, he's fought before. Yeah, he fought Jeremy Stevens in Iowa and then a whole run.
He had 1 fight before that.
He had like 4. He had a whole run. He beat David Onama in his first run.
So you just had most of those debuts got knocked out. You know what I mean? And the ones that did win, it wasn't a surprise. I'm pretty sure you picked both of them last week as well. So those are
I picked Reese McKee. I was heavy on Reese McKee.
Oh yeah, I did pick him too, but I didn't bet him. I had a weird feeling going into fight day on him. I think I'm gonna take the underdog. I think I'm gonna go Lee. I don't have a great.
All right, I'm going Luna.
I don't have a great reason. I think it's a coin flip.
He's a good striker, man.
Yeah, I think if Luna, that grappling doesn't come through, it's gonna be a rough night.
Now this next fight, my favorite bet on the whole card. Free money in my book. Free money. We've got Alex Hernandez versus Diego Fajeda. Listen to me. Diego Fajeda is going to run through Alex Hernandez like nobody's business.
I think he started out as an underdog too. He's a favorite now. He came out.
It's dead even on FanDuel. It's 13 for 13, 113. And he beat the shit out of Rebecca, who I think would beat the shit out of Hernandez.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. He's like kind of like that Magni of the division, you know what I mean? Where he's just that kind of vet.
The only people to beat him, Gamrot, Poirier, like
top 5 people.
I thought he was my favorite pick of the week versus Bobby Green too.
Yeah, he's only losing the top 5 fighters. Dustin's gonna go down as a legend. Three championship fights. Gamrot.
He has 6 losses. It's Gamrot, Beneil Dariush, Grant Dawson, Gregor Gillespie, Dustin Poirier, and Beneil Dariush again. And in that second Beneil Dariush fight in 2021, this close. So like that Gregor Gillespie one, tough. He disappeared after that. That was his last fight. The Gamrot one, he was doing very well until Gamrot just got his back and broke his rib. Smoked Michael Johnson. Smoked him. Like typical stiff.
Yeah, that was wild to see.
Yeah, Rebecca war. And then he just fought Grant Dawson, who Grant Dawson's elite. I hate to break it to all the people who hate Grant Dawson. He is a fantastic grappler and he has great control.
He is.
But I think he's going to take down Hernandez and maul him.
I know he hates that Bobby Green loss.
Hates it, bro. If he didn't have that,
aged so bad. Bobby's only been finished every fight since.
And the Ricky Glenn one is so bad too.
But it happens. It's fighting for you. I'm with you. I'm going with the vet. Hernandez had a nice little fight earlier, 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Did a good job, but
August 19th, baby.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with the vet. I think he has another upset for an up and coming fighter.
Now, next up, we've got the Tubster, Kevin Gastelum, taking on Dustin Stoltzfus, the German American.
How is Kevin Gastelum still in the UFC?
He's good, man. He's going to war.
He did get that D-Rod when I forgot about that.
He got D-Rod. He did Chris Curtis. He's been going all over the place. He's been doing pretty well.
I haven't heard about Chris Curtis in so long.
But
he fought
Dustin Stoltzfus has been surprising me as well, man. I thought he was steaming hot garbage and then smoked. I mean, he's been pretty up and down, can't lie. But like, smoked Dwight Grant. The Abuse knockout was insane. But like him beating Puni Soriano was crazy to me. He was whooping on Bruno Ferreira.
I mean, the only loss that kind of looks bad is Jared. That's kind of because he's just been on a rough run.
He's been win-loss, and it looking like time for a win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, the win is coming up. That's what it looks like. Playing tic-tac-toe with that. I'm with you.
Plus 210 underdog.
I don't trust. I just can't put money on Gastelum. Like you said,
I don't trust either.
Yeah, and you don't know how serious he's taking fighting. You know, he's at that age where, and I mean, we've seen him come into these fights chubby, miss weight. You just don't know what to expect from him, and for that exact reason, I gotta go with Dustin because once again, you have. I don't want to say Calvin's fighting for his contract because I think they just keep him around. He's a good name. He goes to a lot of meet and greets. He's kind of a good company man. That's what Calvin is. But I think Dustin's kind of. He needs to make a mark, keep those new contract coming. Plus 205. I don't hate it. Obviously, Calvin.
Call me crazy. Dustin Stoltzfus by submission is plus 1,300.
That's insane.
I might throw like a little sprinkle on there.
No, it doesn't hurt. Because like I said, if Calvin comes in a little heavy, he's gonna get tired.
It's just like
Calvin
he
doesn't mind
dominated.
taking damage either. Loves
Yeah,
taking
he
damage.
dominated Puna Soriano, submitted him, beat the brakes off of Marc Andre and flatlined him.
At the
Was
same
dominating
time-
Joe Pfeiffer.
Same time, you really don't want to go to the ground with Calvin.
I think if he's gonna win, he's gotta, because I think if it stays on the feet, Kelvin's gonna knock him out. But this next fight, one of the most interesting on the card, in my opinion, two boxer grinders. We've got Jared Gordon versus Rafa Garcia. And these odds are super wide, and I think it's a very close fight.
Yeah, I am right there kind of with you. I kind of agree with everything you just said. This should be an interesting fight. Both pretty talented guys. Been in the UFC for a little bit. Don't have terrible losses by any means. Odds are a little minus 250. But I mean, I haven't really seen anyone go against Gordon.
Jared Gordon's very good. I'm picking him to win this fight,
Yeah,
but I think that's chalky.
I would like to see kind of minus 165, minus 175. But I'd be interested to see something I'm going to work on getting to see what this odds started out as versus where they are, when we shoot the show. Because I would bet he started off a little under that. There's no way he came out minus 250. But I am going to take Jordan. I think he's just, Gordon. Just more, I think he's better overall. I think he's going to, when was the last time? He fought 3 months ago. Very active. But the one thing that does scare me a little bit, he's just like we were just talking with Dustin. He's kind of a win-loss kind of guy. He's coming off a win, so that does scare me a little bit. He's not really coming off a great win. No, I think I'm going to stay with Gordon. I think this is going to be a decision.
Agreed.
I think Gordon by decision would be a pretty solid bet.
I 100% agree. Now, the co-main event of UFC, Rob Font versus David Martinez. Martinez stepping in. He had a fight on this card originally, and it was supposed to be Carlos Vera, and then he was supposed to fight Quang Lee, and now all of a sudden he's the co-main event versus Rob Font, and he opened as a plus 185 underdog, and he has worked his way to a plus 112 underdog. The money is coming in on David Martinez.
Yeah, I was actually excited to see what's his name? Raul Rosa? Chawiwi. I was actually very excited. I actually ironically ended up seeing him fight twice.
Really?
Yeah, he just somehow ended up on all the card. UFC was pushing him when he first got on. They put him on all the pay-per-views. I don't think he fought a fight night in his first couple fights, if I am correct. I was looking forward to that, so I am a little disappointed not seeing him fight. I want to see that young guy get out there. I want to see the improvement. I can definitely understand the odds. I think the odds make perfect sense. Rob Font can be such a hit or miss with these fights.
I think Rob Font is a lock. I think if you're not in the top 10...
He's coming off a good win, too.
Yeah, if you're not in the top 10, I think he's going to beat the brakes off you. He's coming off a win against Gene Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips, both who I think are better than David Martinez. So
one thing we got to throw out there is that age, man. 38. Going against a 20.
I'm okay betting on a 38-year-old Rob Font.
A hungry 27-year-old.
Rob Font at minus 132. Yeesh.
Great losses. Corey Sandhagen.
Davison Figueiredo. Cheeto.
Marlo. Aldo. I mean, that's a great losing resume. If I've ever seen one.
He's just he can't beat the best or the rest. He is the next level.
He just kind of hangs out there. Yeah, he kind of hangs in that top 10 / kind of top 15-ish. I think I'm going to take the dog here.
Interesting.
I think
he's number 9.
He's number 9. Okay, that makes sense. I think Father Time comes for us all. I do think he's definitely had some good wins. But I think he's going to get upset Saturday.
See, you're taking the upset here. I'm taking the upset in the main event. There's going to be Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. And Diego Lopez is the plus 186 underdog. And I'm going with Diego Lopez to beat the fighting nerd, to beat Gene Silva, and to get the job done.
Can you talk about how this is a major Mexican promotional event and we have 2 Brazilians. Main
Diego
card
reps
event.
Mexico.
Yeah,
He's close enough.
but I don't look at him and think that. So I immediately think Brazil when I think of him. I think this is a very interesting one. Obviously, the Fighting Nerds are coming off tough night at the office.
Yeah, bad weekend.
And Gene Silva has that momentum I talk about kind of about these other fighters. And I think he has a lot riding on his back with his teammates, having back-to-back losses last week. And he's main carding it. So, man, you get the Fighting Nerds to lose here. I'm not saying it hurts them by any means, but it definitely stops a lot of momentum they had going. And they could easily bounce back, obviously. You saw Carlos bounce back super in the most beautiful fashion. I think there's a lot riding on Silva compared to Lopez. And, Silva's kind of expressed he doesn't like Lopez for whatever reason. I haven't really dig too deep into that beef. Lopez just went 5 rounds with Volk. So what better experience, honestly, can you get in the UFC at around that weight class than going 5 rounds with who's somebody's probably going to go down as a GOAT of that weight class. So I think I'm going to take the dog here. Sprinkle on for him. He's representing Mexico. So I think that gives you a little push. You know what I mean? It's funny you said that at the beginning on why it's in Texas. I didn't know that. That's really interesting. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going the dog. I think the experience, Gene Silva has a lot of momentum. But kind of like a Ruffy last week, whatever. I don't want to bet and base someone off knockout highlights. Because I feel like that's what we did last week. We picked a guy with these fabulous, exciting knockout highlights. And you're like, well, we have someone who's been knocked out multiple times. And it was the opposite. And not saying that that's going to be this, because Lopez obviously is not going to grapple. But
Call me crazy. I just think Diego Lopez's resume so far in the UFC. Movsar Evloev, super close fight. Armbar Gavin Tucker, whatever. KO's Pat Sabatini, good win. KO Sadiq Youssef, good win.
Great one. Dan Ige.
Beats the shit out of Dan Ige for 2 rounds. And then bad 3rd round, whatever, but good win. Beats the fuck out of Brian Ortega. Good win. Then it's Volk, and it's like, all right. But the one thing I notice in these fights, Ige's coming to take your chin off. Youssef is coming to take your chin off. Tucker's coming to take your chin off. In Gene Silva's fights, Bryce Mitchell, very low threat on the feet. Melsick, threat on the feet, but not one-shot threat on the feet. Drew Dober, good. Gene Silva wasn't dark enough. Charles Jourdain, he's good.
Not a bad win. It's a good up-and-coming win.
Not a bad win, but Charles Jourdain was winning a lot of that fight.
I agree. He got caught.
He was winning a lot of that fight. Weston Wilson kind of took his time. And then it was Kevin Vallejos, which was a great fight and the best win of his career, in my opinion, because he was going after him. But in the last 2 years, Weston Wilson, no threat. Charles Jourdain, threat, was winning, but never any super danger. Yeah. Drew Dober couldn't get a thing off. Melsick didn't do anything. Bryce Mitchell, not a threat, but was doing well on the feet. And I think when you have someone who's going to crash in, meet Gene Silva in the pocket, not allow him to go all loosey-goosey and shit, where Diego's going to be like, let's go, bro. Let's go, motherfucker. I'm coming at you. Where he's going to just keep going, crashing, and I think he's going to get him on the ground.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Even though obviously Lopez isn't a huge grappler. Huge jiu-jitsu, though. Huge jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, obviously he's the coach for, multiple fighters in the UFC, which is always a good sign. So yeah, and honestly with Silva, with that Bryce Mitchell win, I and not taking the win away from him, but I do think Bryce Mitchell was not there that fight. He had a lot of controversy going on that week that kind of overshadowed his fight with that whole, we all know, I'm not going to say it because the video will probably get taken down, but we know the controversy he had coming into that week, and we kind of saw him bounce back. You know what I mean? So while it is a good win, and he made it look easy, I'm still more impressed with Lopez and how he made Volk not look easy. You know what I mean? Volk didn't look great in that press conference after the fight. He was beat up.
No,
And
I wish he retired right then and there. Honestly,
yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. But yeah, I think I think a lot of dogs are barking for this event. Normally, I'm not the biggest dog guy. I usually only pick like a 1 to 3 dogs. But man, I like quite a few. Betting wise, I almost want to stay away from the first like 5 fights. You just don't know. I think there would be some good low money parlays pieces. But other from that, I'm right there with you on Aguilar. I do think that is probably one of the better bets of the night.
the only bet in those first 5 that I really like, first 6 even, first 7
Yeah, it's just
is Jesus Aguilar, and then
yeah,
Jesus Aguilar submission at plus 600.
yeah. That's juicy. I like that.
One plus 172 money line, plus 600 sub. That's my prelims bet right there.
I like that. Tough betting card in the prelims, where I feel like prelims a lot of times where kind of you make your money at, because the main cards is where it gets so serious.
100%.
But yeah, a great card. Not the biggest Mexican fighter card by any means.
Yeah, not at all.
Not
it's
a
more
huge-
Brazilian than anything.
Not a huge presence at all, and I don't know whether that's a scheduling conflict or what it is. Here, let me count. 1, 2.
I think it has to do with Canelo versus Crawford happening this
3.
Saturday as well.
5 Mexican fighters on a predominantly Mexican promoted fight night, which is a little disappointed because last year was crazy.
I think it's because of
You know?
Canelo versus Crawford, 100%, honestly.
I agree. It's definitely going to take away a lot of the shine. I think it's kind of a reason it's in the States, because I think Dana's going to be playing both sides.
Well, the reason it's not in Mexico is because the arena wasn't out ready. So they had to pivot and make their way over to San Antonio, Texas.
But still, I mean, why have a card in Mexico with 5 Mexican fighters? I mean, it's not like some super well-known.
Well, they were
Mexican
trying to do
fighters.
Yair versus Volk, and I think they saw the uproar and they were like, "Eesh."
We got a great card this Saturday. Really, what's your fight of the night if you had to pick one? What's the fight to look out for?
Listen, I might be a casual here. The main event's the best fight on the card by a mile.
I was going to say the same.
Yeah, the main event's the best fight. But if we're not going with the main event, watch out for Alessandro Costa versus Alden Correa. That one's going to be a banger. And then also Jose Medina versus Dushko Todorovic. As bad as they are, the sloppier they are, typically the more fun the fight is. So I think it's going to be a fun fight.
I'm right there with you on the main event. And I know we talked a lot of bad news about these people, but the one thing I know is they are going to strike. And I hate saying this, but that Reese and Dumas fight, I think, is just going to be nonstop throwing. It might not be pretty, but they're going to bang. They're going to stand and bang. And they're going to give you
Dumas is fighting for those $13. You hear me?
I'm telling you, he needs every dollar that man. That's what I'm telling you. That's scary.
You know what he needs to start doing? He needs to start listening to Big Verb's bets.
I'm telling you something. Or no, because he can't bet, so he can't say that. He UFC.
He can't bet on UFC. Can't bet on UFC.
Oh yeah.
He can bet on NFL, NBA, MLB.
True. This is very true. Yeah, I think that would be a shocking banger. Or the terrible fight, one of the two.
Yeah, I think this card's awesome, and I'd give it on paper a 5.5 out of 10, but I'd give that main event like a 9.5 out of 10 for a fight night.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The prelims are pretty very pre-prelim. Like the whole prelims feels like pre-prelim fights.
Yeah, like early. It's like 8 early prelims.
All these fights would be good, like first fights on any card. I'll give Suarez and Lemos a little love, but yeah, I'm right there with you. 5.5. Definitely not that great. You know, main event 9 out of 10. Co-main not too shabby. We'll see how that plays out. But like you said, this could have been better. You know, for the holiday, what it is. But like you said, I do think the Canelo fight, especially Dana being involved with that, I think has overshadowed.
I bet you $1 million Dana is not at this card.
He does not care. He's definitely not going to be there. 100%. But yeah, either way, still some money to be made, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I like it. Good card.
Well, all right. Appreciate anybody tuning in. Give us a follow. MMA Control. We're on YouTube. We got an Instagram now.
Got
Obviously,
Instagram. Check out the personal socials. Big Verb _ on Instagram. Jack Oldham May on Instagram.
Absolutely. And we'll see you guys later this week. It was nice talking to you, boss.
Good talking to you too.
Take it easy.